Hello there. With all of the stalled diplomacy going on, there may be only one way of stopping a Russian invasion of Ukraine, but it smacks of appeasement. Prime Ministers, Home Secretaries and Defence Ministers have been scuttling between their various capitals and Moscow and Kiev. And still Putin builds up his troops on the Ukraine borders to the north and east, as well as the coast to the south. And nothing seems to deter the Russian president from doing so. And now we hear that Putin has ordered his attack helicopters and fighter bombers to the front lines, one of the last pieces of the military jigsaw. There is also talk that this possible plan of Putin's to invade on this Wednesday the 16th is because there is a period of maximum moonlight for a few days after that date. Now, there had been a glimmer of hope when the Ukrainian ambassador to the UK hinted that his country might suspend its bid to join NATO, something the Kremlin apparently welcomed. But that appears to now have been walked back on when the Foreign Ministry of the Ukraine later said that joining NATO was enshrined in its constitution. And all the while, the Russian state media has, as expected, started putting out stories of atrocities being committed by Ukrainian troops on Russian-speaking people in the Donbass region of eastern Ukraine. The same sort of games they played when they took the Crimea in 2014. And Ukrainska Pravda reports that flights chartered by rich oligarchs are leaving the country. So Kiev wants Ukraine to join NATO, but Putin doesn't. In fact, Putin will do anything he can to prevent it. And NATO wants Ukraine to join, if it wants to, and if it is ready to do so. But that day might be years or even decades away. And the EU wants the problem to just go away because its most powerful country, Germany, is almost totally reliant on Russian gas. So it's been suggested that it is up to NATO to rule out Ukrainian membership of the defence bloc, so easing Moscow's fears. With the thinking being that Putin would then relax and send his troops home for tea. Just the sort of thing we did with another expansionist type in the 1930s, and look at how that one panned out. Peace in our time, quickly followed by total war. Now, many people are saying Putin will never invade Ukraine. It's all just sabre-rattling to get something from the West. But what? So far, there's been no indication that he's got what he wants. And if the only thing he wants is assurances that Ukraine will never join NATO, then he definitely has not got that. But if after all of this military build-up and frenetic diplomacy there's no invasion, then the West will go back to ignoring Putin and restart their EU and NATO march eastwards. And if Putin does send the tanks in, then there would be immediate sanctions, but they could well be disjointed because of the fractures on the western side. And the EU will want the gas to keep flowing, so is unlikely to want the sanctions to bite too hard. And some people in the City of London might be twitching too. But the West has made it quite clear that they have no intention of engaging in military conflict with Russian troops in a battle for Ukraine. So it would all boil down to how hard Ukrainians would fight for their own independence, and how hard they would make it for Russia to hold their country. Now, those who think that NATO is at fault here for pushing too hard say that Putin is justified in what he's doing. And further, that Ukraine is a broken state and that it could never join NATO anyway, so its only hope lies with the Russian control. If it is a broken state, then its troops could end up melting away, offering little or no resistance. And no amount of images of civilians with wooden rifles and grannies pointing AK-47s is going to deter Putin. But does that justify an attack by the Russian president? But at the end of the day, ruling out NATO membership for Ukraine might be the only slim hope in preventing an invasion. So what's your opinion? Will Putin go in or not? And would he be justified for doing so? Please like and comment below. Please subscribe and like this video, buy a mug and support me on Patreon or PayPal, and thank you for watching.